It's
Hi,
good to
Cloud.
see you again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I thought we're never gonna make. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm sorry. I've been busy packing up, and I
Hmm.
just got back to where I live and close to San Diego.
Yep. You're literally
I was
moving through
welcomed by
storm.
this. Yeah, I mean, 15 hours I was out there. So many things have happened. Pakistan has beat New Zealand again.
Hmm.
Which we
Hmm.
all expected in a way
I
because
think
they
so. I
did
mean,
in 92.
I'm pretty sure the last time, yeah, I'm pretty sure the last time we had a show, no one expected Pakistan to be the first team to
And
qualify
they
for
were
the
actually
final.
made it to this,
Yeah.
exactly, right? So that's what Pakistan does. And this happened in 1992.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
I think there's an India Sri Lanka game which went washed away because of
Hmm.
rain.
Hmm.
Pakistan in
Hmm.
the league games were bundled out for
Hmm.
72 runs against England.
Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
game was washed out, okay, because
Hmm.
England couldn't chase.
Yeah.
And due to this, Pakistan made it to the semis
Hmm.
to meet a unbeaten New Zealand.
Yeah.
Playing New Zealand in New Zealand,
The
and
Martin
Inzamam
Grove game,
Ulak
no?
happened.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
okay. Martin Grove couldn't play, and because
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
that, this guy captain
Yeah.
for
Our
the Chennai
coach,
Super
John
Kings.
Wright.
I forget. Yeah, John Reid captain.
Yeah.
And there is a interesting thing about communication between John Crow,
Hmm.
John Reid and Martin Crow
Yeah,
during
I
the
read it in a
game.
book actually. Yeah.
Okay,
But yeah,
so
go
much of
ahead. Tell
drama,
us.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm saying, there is so much of history to the game.
Hmm.
I never thought that there will be history I'll refer back to when I was watching the game
Hmm.
when I was 16.
Hmm.
And then we are saying that, hey, Pakistan beat New Zealand again to go to the
Hmm.
finals in Melbourne.
Hmm.
And what's a fascinating finals it's going to be if India could only do what we did in 83 in Manchester
Hmm.
and not what happened in 87 in Mumbai.
Hmm.
So what happened in Mumbai? So I'm going to talk till the toss is announced and then you're going to take over.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do the show a little different way this time because we
Hmm.
had issues with technology.
Yeah.
We weren't even sure whether we're going to do the show today,
Hmm.
but luckily we are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in '87, India played England in semifinals in Bombay. So Gooch got a couple of
Hmm.
net bowlers and practiced the sweep shot because he expected that
Yeah.
Ravi Shastri and Maninder Singh is going to try to
I'm
extract
pretty sure most Indian fans
assistance
have
from the
nightmares of
rough.
someone sweeping them. Yeah.
Yeah. So our fellows have not even put intelligence to know whether what kind of shots Graham Gooch is practicing. Today,
Hmm.
so much goes behind following a player.
Hmm. Hmm.
To add insult to the injury, we also dropped a couple of catches in a not deep mid wicket.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
those ones, so Graham Gooch, all he did was that against the rough, anything swept it and swept it hard. And he's a tall player with a big back lift.
Hmm.
So probably those were the earliest ones we are starting
I think
the
there's
slog
some break
speeds
in
we
your
are
voice. Yeah.
starting
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
5 plus. Yeah, I was saying both Ravi Shastri and 15 runs today in T20 cricket.
Hmm. Hmm.
So and Eddie Hemmings took 4 wickets bowling for
Hmm.
against right-handers, predominantly a right-hand
Hmm.
team back then
Hmm.
India was, and he
Yeah.
could pick up 4 wickets even
Even
though it was
now.
very expensive.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Off spinners have always had success against the Indian batting lineup. The good ones, Nathan Lyon and Eddie Hemmings had.
Hmm.
So it's other way to look at is that what a big threat Eddie Hemmings would have been to Narendra Hirwani for Kapil Dev to
Hmm.
take that risk to hit
Hmm.
those 4 sixes.
Hmm.
Because otherwise, if he plays one defensive shot, you're going to follow on, right?
Hmm. Hmm. I think they're
So
up for toss now. Yeah. Your voice seems to be breaking.
because
Com.
it's
I
that
mean,
good Eddie
is there a
Hemmings was,
mm, mm,
and by
mm.
all means, we only lost by 30. Yeah,
England won the toss and chose to field. The connection is
I think I have
breaking
an
from.
internet.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
maybe
think I'm the only one on live now. Maybe you'll have to log out.
okay. Only if I come on screen and
Yeah,
am I
your
audible?
voice
If I go
is
off screen,
breaking.
I'm
I
not
mean,
audible.
throughout the episode, your voice has been breaking, and I think you just went offline too.
Okay.
Hmm.
So what I will do is I'll stop talking now. I'll only bring up screens for
Hmm.
you. Okay. Since the toss is
Oh,
done,
hmm. Hmm. Okay, I'm on live
I'll
commentary duty
talk
today. Okay.
slowly.
Hmm.
I'll bring up the.
It's an
So you're
interesting
going
decision from
to
England.
pick the fantasy lessons.
Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting decision from England to field. This is a deck that usually supports batting first, and there are also reports of it being a used deck, which makes me wonder what they have in mind. It's the two expected changes for England actually. Phil Salt replaces David Mullen and Chris Jordan replaces Mark Wood. Yeah, interestingly, there is no England player in my base team. That's what someone even asked in my mentions right now. Yeah, because I think India are firm favorites to win the match. I'm waiting for India to announce it.
Am I better now?
It's still breaking. I think it's a connection
Okay.
problem, I guess. India are playing the same team they played against Zimbabwe, which means Pant is playing and DK isn't.
Okay. That's interesting.
I think it's better now.
So,
Obviously, we'll have
so
a
I'll,
screen share. Mm.
I'm going to just bring up the fantasy team sheet for you to fill in.
Mm.
So you go ahead, and I'll keep quiet.
Mm. I think this is a Grand League game. That's one thing that we'll have to keep in mind. Cannot crack it through one combination. So play Grand Leagues, find combinations to work out, and because the differentials there today, I think there aren't so many. Bubi will be our biggest player today because he's only selected in 41% of teams. That's one thing, and then he also has a good hedge-to-hedge record against Butler, and his bowling type is also something that supports the deck, full new ball movement, and also that at the death he could vary pace. That's like tailor-made for Adelaide with the long straight boundaries. So our first six players are all from India: Virat Kohli, Sky, KL Rahul, Bhuvi, Arshdeep, and Hardik Pandya. That gives us a 3-1-2 combination already. We'll go for Josh Butler as the wicketkeeper for obvious reasons. I think he'll have to get through Bhuvneshwar Kumar's opening spell, and if he does that, you could expect something decent from him.
Is my voice okay now?
Yeah, I think it is better. Yeah, I think I'll go with Chris Wokes. Are we
Okay.
sharing the screen? Okay. Sam Curran. And, Yeah, I think 11 is done. This will be 11. Yeah. Is the screen being shared count? I think I've completed my
Yeah,
11.
I'm sharing this. That's
Hmm.
great. So I've
Yeah.
been sharing my screen. So
11 is done. This will be 11. Yeah.
so what I'm gonna do is if I can share my screen again, and then I'm gonna bring up my entire screen, right?
Yeah.
So this way I can bring it on stream, even though it looks crazy for a second. Okay, so now
Maybe
what I
once
need to
we.
do is, yeah.
I think you've gone out of. So I think there is no option but for me to confirm the team. So it's Josh Butler as your wicket keeper, Surya Kumar Yadav, Lokesh Rahul. So I'm keeping. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya, Ben Stokes, Sam Curran, Ashdeep Singh, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Adil Rashid. I'm obviously relying on India to win the game. Batting first, it's also something that fits Adelaide. One thing, and England are light on their team actually with Mark Wood out and also David Malan dropping out of the 11. This is something that's a good India to seal the game today. Maybe I
So
think we'll join. We'll yeah,
I'm back.
yeah, yeah.
So I had to do something which I don't want to explain, uh, so that I will be able to share my iPhone, I mean my Android phone screen. So even though I'm
Hmm.
back in the US,
Hmm.
fortunately I carried this phone back with me, which is now will help me hopefully play. Okay, so here, uh, let me help me to pick up the contest and then put on the probably I can drag the screen where we have the team which you keyed in. Not this. Where are the sheets in this? Oh, here it is. Okay, so let's make this 150%. And then if we shrink this, we should be able to bring this right next to it. Yeah, there we go, right? So the Fantasy 11 you picked is on the right side of the screen, and my
Yeah.
Dream 11 is on the left side of the screen. Great. So now I'm gonna. So should I do the 12.99? We're just gonna do one contest today,
But I think this is not a small
or
league
should
team,
I
but
pick
yeah,
up
we
a
could
different
join a.
contest?
uh, Yeah, we could join one contest, but this is not a small league game because there's not a lot of differentials for us to work with. But since it's
I get
nearing and
it.
we cannot create 5 to 10 teams, it's okay. We'll join a two member contest.
So should we pick both punt and Butler, or no punt in our team?
No, just Butler is enough. I think Pant, we do not know where he'll
Okay,
bat.
so that's true. Maybe if he has to reload, only playing 5 balls like DK does, poor thing.
I think
And
your
hopefully
connection is
punt
better
gets to
now,
play.
Count.
Okay. So now let me pick up the all-rounders. Hardik Pandya,
Yeah,
obviously,
Ben Stokes, Sam Curran.
we will expect him to bench
In
and
the
Sam
absence of
Curran.
Markwood, Ben Stokes will be bowling more overs as well. So that's something that we'll have to keep in mind. And also,
Yeah, I
Adelaide is one
mean,
of the decks that can.
Woody with
Mm,
Woody without England team is like Woody without it's not in Toy Story. It's so sad
mm,
he's not playing. It would have been a completely different game.
mm.
But you think Sam Curran in the death overs has more fantasy potential now to pick up wickets?
Yeah, that's one thing. And also against India, a team that doesn't have rapid pace bowlers, his batting value also kicks in because raw pace at back of length is something that teams are using to target Sam Curran right now. That's something that India doesn't have a lot of. Arshdeep can still do that, and even
Hmm.
Shami, but that's not something that you can rely on, especially when a bowler has an all-round value, when the batter
Yeah,
has an all-round value as well.
yeah, got it. And you expect Pandya to make short work of the square boundaries, short boundaries in
Yeah, yeah,
Adelaide,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
Wood again not playing.
Yeah. If you
You
look at
can
it,
take
there are
apart
no.
the England.
Hmm. They don't have a fast bowler at all. Everyone is medium pace bowlers, and they'll also India will also be requiring Hardik's bowling today. This is a dangerous batting unit that India they are up against.
Yeah,
They'll need someone to. They'll need more options basically. They cannot go in with their first five bowling specialist
right,
options.
right. Yeah, both Stokes and Pandya they have to break their back, really bend it
Hmm.
hard,
Hmm.
uh, because those square boundaries are short, so they keep
Hmm.
bowling full,
Hmm.
and then they surprise with a short one to probably induce the
Yeah.
false,
Hmm. Hmm.
hook shot or a pull shot which can take a top edge. But for that
Yeah.
they need to extract that extra pace from
Yeah.
the wicket.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's very important for them to stay top of their shape, for them to be able to bowl 4 overs so committed and feel
Hmm.
so passionately in the field, and then bat 20,
Yeah.
20 balls
Hmm.
for their
Hmm.
team, scoring at about 175 strike rate, right?
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
expect
Hmm.
both of them to do that today.
Hmm.
Wow. And
Yeah.
then we're going to go to bowlers next.
Yeah, bowlers.
Okay.
Ashdeep
So no
and
Mark
Bhuvi would
Wood.
be my
I mean,
first.
very
Hmm.
disappointed.
Ashdeep and Bhuvi would be my first two
Yeah, and
choices
Adil
because
Rashid.
not only they move the new ball, but they also bowl fuller and they have variations that fit this deck.
Yeah. I cannot take my, the memory of Adil Rashid getting a ripper and getting the off stump off Virat Kohli.
The
So would
the
this
look
Adelaide
that Kohli
pitch,
had on his face.
give him that kind of
Hmm.
assistance today?
It has been one of the decks that
Yeah. So
that is supported.
cannot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has been one of those decks that
And
has
for that
supported
reason, you
spin
think India
throughout
will
the
play
tournament.
Chahal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I wanted India to actually
Yeah.
try out Chahal because David Malan is not playing, so that reduces the number of left-handers they have in the
And they're
middle
not
order.
doing that.
And Chahal is a good option to have against most of the players in this batting unit. I think but that's understandable, I guess, because they've been playing Ashwin throughout the tournament.
Yeah. And obviously, if India puts a big score, 180 is a par score in Adelaide. So without Wood, maybe we'll put on 200.
Hmm.
If Sky and
Hmm.
Kale can also accelerate, so that would
Yeah.
put Butler and Hales wanting to accelerate at the beginning. So with the movement
Hmm.
Bhuvi and Ashdeep gets, that could be case for bowls and LPWs.
Yeah.
Great. So let's go to batters now.
Yeah.
So obviously Virat Kohli, what a fantastic World Cup he's been having.
Yeah. I'm going for an all Indian top
I
four.
want India to play Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul. So to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about each one of them, wish he hits Harris Ruff
Yeah.
for winning
I
six
think there's
in
an
Melbourne. That
important
becomes
there's an important point about KL that we need to discuss here that has been also discussed in the article. There's a lot of focus on his first 2 overs, how he approaches the first 2 overs. He's being defensive about it. But if you look at it, he's the fourth fastest batter in overs 3 to 6. That's one thing, and he's also one of the best batters this year in overs 7 to 9. So he's pretty much doing the job of the job that an opener is expected to do. The only thing that he can do better is that approach the first 2 overs better, but those are usually slow scoring overs. So there's not a lot of difference that a batter can make at that point. As long as he's playing the 3 to 9 over mark, I think he's doing his job as an opener well. It's also, let's not forget that this is also a year that he's been dealing with a lot of off-field issues, and then form as well. He's coming from injury, so that's something. When he settles in, I think we can expect KL Rahul to be a real force for India at the top.
Yeah. So he's a star player for me. I watched him score a century live at the Fort Lauderdale, in 2017. I mean,
Yeah.
scintillating player to watch. What talent! His height, he can whip, flip, make those flick
Hmm.
shots disappear into those deep square leg for sixes and the short boundaries,
Hmm.
and make it
Hmm.
look so effortless. I hope
Hmm.
he
Hmm.
kind of accelerates after once he gets to his 50, and not try
Hmm.
giving up his wicket, trying to accelerate like it's been happening in the last
Hmm.
couple of
Hmm.
innings.
I think
Yeah,
he's starting to face his game because that's something. Usually, he's someone who starts very slow and then picks up as the innings progresses. Now he's starting to change his innings construction style itself. He's accelerating a lot more. He's accelerating a lot more frequently as well. So that's kind of starting to have an impact on KL's scores. I mean, usually if he's someone who gets to 50, you'll expect him to get 70 or 80 at least. But the last few times you have seen, he immediately gets a 50 and gets out. That's because he's trying to like adopt a new
yeah.
scoring style, new way of attacking, and that's something that's starting to have an impact on its overall scores.
And also, it'll be KL's personal, responsibility to see off Adil Rashid. He's the best player of spin in the top three. Especially the spinners.
Yeah, it's up to him and Sky to take down Adil Rashid. Not that see him off, but also take him down for 40 to 45 runs in the 4 overs that he's going to bowl. I think they'll be charged with that role
Yeah,
today, especially with Kohli not someone you would expect to accelerate against spin, and Rohit's form. These two are important players for India today.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see when Josh Butler bowls, Adil Rashid, given that
Hmm,
Sky
hmm.
and KL can take him apart. So
Yeah,
what a tournament KL, Sky has been having. Hopefully we see fireworks again today in Sky.
yeah, it'll be. I mean, he'll top
But
it off if he
explain
delivers
the
today.
yeah,
Um, hmm. Go ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, yeah, if he tops it off, if he delivers today, I mean that's you cannot ask of him anything better than what he has done. He has delivered against South Africa, even though his other two knocks has come against smaller teams. If he delivers today, I think that's as good a job as Virat Kohli has done this tournament.
Yeah. So definitely with the square shots, curve entries, Sky's 360-degree play, expect fireworks.
Hmm. Hmm.
I would be surprised if he ends up with five sixes today.
Yeah.
And Rohit Sharma, very curious case of Rohit Sharma. So let me start going forward so that I don't miss
Hmm.
out like the India Netherlands game.
Yeah.
And let's pick the captain and the vice captain as we discussed Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
So
I
should I
think
make
it'll be Sky
my
and
captain?
Hardik is safe choices,
Sky
but I
is my
think
captain.
yeah, Sky. You can go with Sky.
Hmm.
And also you could also go with KL Rahul as your vice captain.
Bhuvi as a differential will take wickets as vice
Yeah,
captain.
Bhuvi is a differential. Rohit himself is a differential today. Adil Rashid is also a differential that we have.
Yeah, yeah. But Bhuvi could end up with three wickets. Like India has put to bat. If they do get the better of the England bowlers and put on a score of 200, we could be
Hmm.
watching England losing a heap of wickets
Yeah,
to Bhuvi. So, but we're going to go with KL Rahul as a safe choice
yeah. KL Rahul. I mean, he's in
as
form.
a
The
vice
opposition
captain.
bowling attack is depleted. Yeah, yeah.
Sure. So I've gone ahead. I've joined. I'm just going to join this contest.
Hmm.
So though so close, that contest filled up. No worries. Okay. Thank
No,
you.
no, it
But
might
yeah,
be
this
the
always
same thing as
happens.
last time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna exit now, and then I'm gonna do the common man's fantasy app FanX. So things are much
Yeah,
simpler, right? With all the
I love
information you
this. Yeah.
publish on Roanuz.
Hmm.
Yeah, with
Hmm.
all the information I publish on
Hmm.
Roanuz, all I need to do is come here and then It's so simple
mm,
to do.
yeah,
The other
yeah,
one requires a lot of thought. So the
mm,
statistics. So first one is fielding.
yeah. Fielding.
Interesting.
I
KL
think we
took
could go
that.
for Pant on this.
Uh, yeah. So caught behinds. You expect.
Hmm.
Okay,
It's basically a
that's
clash
a good
between the
one.
two wicket keepers.
On the run scored, KL Rahul. I think he's going to convert this into a big one. What do you think?
Hmm. Yeah, I think KL Rahul can make a difference today. It's between KL Rahul or Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah, but something tells me that KL Rahul is going to convert this into a big one.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Wickets,
Yeah.
Bhuvi versus Adil Rashid.
Hmm.
Ashdeep.
I think Ashdeep, Ashdeep and Bhuvi, I think, will be a good choice between one of these two.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ashdeep. The good thing about this contest is that they give you gold coins. You can participate with. You don't have money to lose. Still it's very interesting to see whether with all the information you have, whether you're able to pick up the
Mm,
right
mm,
player across three
mm,
categories. Fielding, batting, and bowling.
mm.
As the app says that we would love to wish you good luck, but it's a game of skill, which is a
Good
smart way
one.
to
Yeah, that's a good line. Yeah.
promote themselves. Yeah. So we've joined the contest on both FanX and Dream11, and let's see how my teams do. So in the meantime,
Mm,
let me stop sharing so we can
mm,
continue to talk through
mm,
the show. So Ashdeep, very interestingly, I read an article in
mm,
CricBuzz where
mm,
how Ashdeep played only a couple of games
mm.
uh, for during the under 19 World Cup, and
Yeah.
Nagesh Kamarkoti, and other couple
Yeah.
of
It
boys,
was the tournament of Mavi
Porul,
Nagarkoti and yeah, Ishan Porel. It
Porul,
is like Ashdeep
Ishan
wasn't
Porel,
even
yeah,
part of India's plans.
yeah. So apparently, actually played only two games, and
Mm,
what happened was Ryan Harris spotted
mm,
him, and
mm,
Ryan Harris was the bowling coach of the under 19 of the
mm,
Australian team,
mm,
and decided to show interest in Ashdeep and see where Ashdeep has turned
mm.
out. We're not even talking about Kamlesh Nagarkoti. Ashdeep is
Yeah.
doing so well in this World Cup. I'm so
Mm,
happy
mm.
for him.
It's funny how things change. I
Apparently,
mean, this
otherwise
is
you would
where
have
Rahul,
lost him to.
yeah, this is where Rahul Dravid's line
Mhm.
comes to my mind. It's not what you do in under 19; it's what you do after that. It's there's a lot that comes after that. So success here doesn't mean you'll definitely succeed in the higher level cricket. So don't lose your hope if you don't make it to the under 19 team. I mean,
It's a
Ashdeep is a
marathon.
story that's
That's
going to
where
be
you
told for a lot of.
salute.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, exactly. That's where you salute a Virat Kohli or salute a Sachin Tendulkar, right?
yeah.
So take under
Mm,
30, under 50, under 19, 34, 40,
yeah.
45. They would still be at their
Mm,
peak.
yeah. I think
Unbelievable,
Virat Kohli.
cricketing talent.
It's a story of not just a skill; it's a story of skill and hard work also. So Virat Kohli, the way he has improved all of his weaknesses and battled through all of his drawbacks and everything, the way he's come forward.
It's a continuous improvement of the game, of one's temperament. There's so many parts of the game as you are
Mm,
able to be a successful player well into your late 30s.
mm,
You readjusted the game based on the exploits that's been done by top bowlers like Glenn McGrath
mm,
to
mm,
kind of find out, right? Alan Donald, right? They find you, what's that chink in your armor, and they exploit it.
mm.
And then there's still
Yeah.
these greats readjust their game over that, like
Mm,
Jack Pascalis, Sangakkara,
mm,
Sachin Tendulkar, Ricky Ponting. Like Sachin
mm,
Tendulkar had this tennis elbow issue and also
mm.
had the back issue. So he has to avoid playing a couple of shots, right? That straight batted
Mm.
golf shot, he could no longer
Yeah.
play because he had to twist his right foot
Mm.
to be able to play that shot.
Yeah.
And a lot of this free square drives he played, cover drives he played. Later in the game, he
Mm.
restricted those square off wicket shots. Probably put a lot of
Yeah.
pressure on his elbow and tried to play more
Mm.
straighter.
Mm.
Of course, the innings in Sydney, we all know that he avoided to play even a single shot on the offside. So how the game evolves, it's unbelievable to see. That's exactly you're right, right? So it has to one has to measure one how one does after under 19. Thank goodness we didn't lose him to Cricket Canada. Apparently, if Ryan Harris had not spotted him, we would have lost our left arm pacer Sardar to Cricket Canada. Apparently, that would have been
That would
really
have been
sad.
brutal. Yeah.
He was. So, and we were talking about Rohit Sharma. Today we're going to talk even after the game, begins for a few minutes because we had technical issues starting the show. So Rohit Sharma, he's going to come to open in a few minutes. But his last five few seasons of IPL, I don't know whether he's changed his game to be more aggressive or if his skill is on the wane or if the opposition is finding his weak points more consistently, they're able to exploit it. I don't know, from a common man, what does an analyst say? Is it a combination of these things or is it something else?
I think it's a combination of few things. T20 as a whole has changed since 2017. The bowling has become better. There are a lot more quick wrist spinners coming in, and spinners starting to play a dominant role. And pacers are also not bowling at the same pace. There is a lot of rapid pace that's come in. There is a lot of variations that has come in. So the combination of all of these has made batting in general difficult. But what happens with Rohit is that whenever his teams play a lot of matches in a short span, that's something I've noticed always with him. He struggles. That's why he has had a poor IPL career since 2017, but his T20 numbers have been excellent. Because India, what usually they do is play three matches and then get out. Three matches and then get out. So within these three matches, he finds it easy to get in and get out and deliver a big score. But when you play a lot of matches in a short span, I think that there is a lot more factors that come into play. That's what has also happened this year because he has played 28 games this year, and the highest he has played before is 19. Because this is a World Cup year, he has played a lot more matches, and that's starting to have an impact on his numbers as well. The volume of matches is something that is negatively affecting him. He's someone I think India will benefit him if India play like a 3 match series or 5 match series. But when you put a lot of matches together, things start to turn out really bad for him.
Yeah,
KL
you're,
Rahul
you're
starts with
absolutely
the
right. And look
boundary.
at Netherlands.
Uh,
Oh wow! Today you're going to
boundary
be
at the
my
first
eyes,
ball.
Al, and
Yeah.
for that reason,
How long is
so
your
you're going to be
quarantine?
my eyes today.
Hmm.
So I'm going to be in quarantine till at least I can take a rapid COVID test. 3 days. So I
Wow.
landed
Okay.
Tuesday
Hmm.
Tuesday afternoon.
Hmm.
So Wednesday, Thursday,
Hmm.
Friday, I can take the test.
Hmm. Hmm.
So and Friday, hopefully, I can go for my daughter's show. That's the reason I came back in between the
Yeah.
World Cup.
Hmm.
And yesterday, I had the wrong. I mean, I had the Indian, adapter to the
Hmm.
US socket, so we couldn't. We
Hmm.
missed doing the Pakistan show, the
Yeah. We've
Pakistan New
been
Zealand game.
facing a lot of challenges of late. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Finally, I'm glad it worked out that way. So this
Hmm.
is the best part of my day if I get to do it, talking to you.
Hmm.
So,
India have a strike rate of
so
a
you're
two.
gonna take it, take yeah,
All those
strike
who
rate of
complained about
240.
KL Rahul's first over uh, approach, he's got 5 runs of the first two balls. I think they're all happy now. So over to the Indian captain, he's taking strike now.
Yeah, hope Rohit really does well. But the Rohit of 2015 World Cup, when he smashed
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
back-to-back-to-back
Hmm.
centuries,
Hmm.
was a
I think.
blessing in disguise
Hmm.
because
Hmm. Hmm.
it didn't expose our middle order early in the tournament. So when it
Hmm.
came to that crunch game, they couldn't deliver.
Hmm. Hmm.
But what form that he was in, it was
Hmm.
assured that he would work himself into a big century that was given.
Mm, mm, mm. I think this was a complaint that has been against Rohit and even Dhawan for a long time, that they always fail in the crucial knockout matches. But that's starting to change, I guess, because in the last few years, I've regularly seeing him turning up on matches that you'd want players to turn up to win those crucial games. For example, if you look at IPL 2020, he had a poor tournament throughout the year. I mean, poor, it's at least mediocre. And what he did was he turned up to a final and took down Ashwin, Delhi Capitals best bowler, and won the tournament for them. He was the highest scorer in that match. I guess he started attacking right away, and I think that would be great to see Rohit Sharma doing something like that in this tournament, either in this match or if India qualifies in the next one.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you say that. Yeah, so if you have somebody like a Sanju Samson, so I was
Mm,
thinking
mm,
of this
mm,
and chatting with
mm,
Hemant the other day,
mm,
saying that
mm.
a captain or a wicket keeper has to be an all-rounder,
Yeah.
and you can measure their all-rounder as a
Mm,
metric only if
mm,
they do a certain number of things as a wicket keeper, which is to
mm,
stand behind for 120 balls and do
mm,
not let any buys go. That's one
mm.
metric.
Yeah.
And as a batsman, right, as a
Mm,
captain, the only way you can be an all-rounder is to be a batsman or a bowler, and as a wicket keeper,
mm,
you can only be a batsman.
mm.
Right, then your metric should be that you place at least 20 balls, right? It's a 120 ball game, so you at
Yeah.
least play 15% of
Yeah.
the total number of balls, and you make an
Mm,
impact. From those
yeah.
20 balls, you score a 35, right?
Mm,
That's a,
mm,
and it becomes because it's become a percentage game.
mm,
So to play a DK or a Rishabh Pant that deep,
mm,
because these could be the differences between teams, right? So do you have a wicketkeeper batsman who plays 20 balls?
mm,
So
mm,
do you have a captain, who has a strike rate of 240 or turns
mm,
the ball square like Rashid Khan,
mm.
right? So a captain who's got like Dhoni had that magical finishing touches,
Mm.
right? So he
Yeah,
brings
I think.
like a cool head to the shoulder, right? He can
Mm.
go ahead.
I think it will be interesting to see how India approach with Sanju Samson, because there are signs that they are looking at him as a lower middle order player in one day international cricket. But in T20s, I think he could add value at the top as well. He could easily replace Rohit Sharma as India's opener going ahead. So that's something that could come into play as well. And in that case, the thing that you want the wicket keeper to be a part of the top order, playing a lot of balls and becoming a more comprehensive option to have for India. That's something that's a box that will be ticked in that situation. India
Yeah,
one
you're
over. It's
absolutely right
uh,
by saying
mm,
that.
mm.
Go
6 for
ahead.
0 in the first over. India.
Okay. So Rohit keeps strike.
Yeah, Rohit is keeping strike. Yeah.
Okay.
I think in
So
England are
now I was
not
saying,
confident in their
Mhm.
bowling. Yeah, England are not confident in their bowling. That's one
Mhm.
reason that they've chosen to bowl first on a bat first deck.
Yeah, that's interesting point. Yeah, because it's a 60% win rate for teams batting first, and 180
Yeah,
is the par score in Adelaide.
yeah, yeah.
So, and
It is a deck that.
I'm expecting
Yeah,
India to
I
make
think they are
200
thinking that
plus.
even if they score 180, India can chase it down against this bowling attack. So they want to put
Yeah,
India's batting unit to take the risk, to take the pressure upon themselves to
yeah.
set a score. Maybe if in trying to score 200, they could get all out for 160, and that's something that could work in England's favor. It'll be interesting to see how the old ball behaves on this pitch as well.
See again, this is the risk if your lower middle order has not played enough balls in the tournament, like it
Mm,
happened
mm,
with Rohit Sharma's
mm,
brilliance in 2015. So
mm,
when they have to, for example, today, if you look at Adelaide's, power play 7-16 and Sligo or scoring,
mm.
so teams who are able to retain batsmen, right, who can suddenly go hammer and tongs, if you know what I mean. So like a Sky or a KL Rahul or Hardik Pandya has to bat those last 4 overs. You froze up, Alagappan, so I'm just going to refresh to see it. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are.
Who's bowling the second over?
Oaks, KL Rahul has been dismissed.
Oh, so did he get sneaked out?
I think it's a ball that went away from him and he edged it to the keeper, Butler. Kohli has come to
Sneaked
the
out.
crease. Yeah.
Sneaked it. So moving delivery of works, he couldn't
Mm.
negotiate and he sneaked it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Kohli negotiates the moment.
Yeah.
So we were sorry. So we were talking about Samson or
Mm.
somebody who plays those 25 balls, right?
Mm. Mm.
Takes the responsibility and do
Mm.
be the wicket keeper. Should have been
Yeah.
KL Rahul today, right? So I was hoping because the other option is that you already have that player, right?
Mm.
KL Rahul, who's playing those 30 deliveries, scoring those 50
Mm.
runs.
Mm.
So instead of making him score 80, if you make him the wicket keeper, you're already, making his value 2x,
Yeah.
right? Like how Rahul Dravid was asked to
Mm.
keep.
Mm. 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 I think the
So
challenge
this
also comes in. No?
automatically gives
Mm.
you a.
Mm. Mm.
Mhm. Go
Can
ahead.
India find a number six who fits the role? I mean, fits the role of the required what's required of a number six. I mean, that's something that they'll have to find. If it's easier to find a wicket keeper who bats at the top order, but what will you do with the number six is the question that teams will
Yeah, you
have.
see, but to hide that problem, you're doing
Hmm.
something else. See, the biggest
Hmm.
bigger
Hmm.
question is that who could be
Hmm.
our number seven, that explosive DK
Hmm.
after DK? Is he a batting all rounder or a bowling all rounder? Because he
Hmm.
being a wicketkeeper all rounder makes no sense because he gets
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
bat only 5 to 7 balls,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? He comes in,
Yeah.
puts on a grand show, right? 9 out of
Yeah.
10 times, right?
Hmm.
Eventually, teams will crack that.
Hmm.
That would be that I'm saying percentage. The
Hmm.
smallest
Hmm.
percentages in the team composition, whether
Hmm.
you have a wicketkeeper, opener, a
Hmm.
captain who's got an X factor,
Hmm.
a number seven who can score a 250 plus strike rate
Hmm.
on any given day,
Hmm.
plays those 5 to 7 deliveries, will score 20 runs, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So those would become the differentiator between win and lose.
Hmm.
Because on a day, if Netherlands can beat South Africa,
Yeah.
and if it's happening so often,
Hmm.
right? And they're given so fewer opportunities to play the Super 8, they
Hmm.
still come and surprise them in the World Cup. They
Yeah.
come through the hard grind of playing, qualifiers, come to the finals, and they show
Hmm.
them on their day they
Hmm.
can beat
Hmm.
the big ones. Zimbabwe
Hmm.
beat Pakistan.
Hmm.
I didn't
Hmm.
expect that at all.
Yeah.
And Pakistan is now in the finals. It's a separate story. But Zimbabwe beating Pakistan, it's
Hmm.
bigger than Netherlands beating South Africa to me.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Or vice versa, depending on how you look at it, right? Against uh, Nokia and Rabat, how could this happen, right?
Yeah.
So
I
is it
think
Nouma was
Netherlands
the
beating
problem,
South
right?
Africa came out of nowhere. The deck was like Adelaide. Adelaide's deck started playing tricks. I mean, as soon as Colin Ackerman came into bowl, his off spin, you can see all out Riley Rousseau dancing. His feet he isn't confident. The ball is leaving him and the ball is coming in. It's something that made a difference in that game. Sam Curran has
It's what
beaten
happened in
Kohli
96.
twice. Sam
Oh,
Curran
oh
has
man.
beaten Kohli's outside edge twice.
So this is what happened in the 96 semi-finals against Sri Lanka and Calcutta.
Hmm.
After Sachin got out is when we realized the ball is turning square.
Hmm. Yeah.
Nobody is able to negotiate that spin, right?
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
we suddenly got out. All six batsmen got out
Yeah.
before the crowd went wild.
Hmm.
So it's crazy how some of these sudden turn of events completely flips the game on its head.
Yeah.
The crazy part of our game. But again, coming back to the opening batsman, talking beyond this World Cup, hopefully we'll make it to the finals in India, beat Pakistan and all that,
Hmm.
which would be a fairy tale ending. I
Hmm.
hope as an Indian cricket fan that happens.
Yeah.
But post World Cup,
Hmm.
right, where is this team going to go for the
Yeah.
2024 World Cup? Who's going to play? So I think the next IPL would should answer most of those
Yeah.
questions.
I think I'm surprised to not see Prithvi Shaw in the 11, the squad, in the T20 squad. I think it's a no-brainer with the next World Cup where it is and where he is as a T20 player. Prithvi Shaw is someone who should have been roped into the 11, into the squad at least for the first day. I mean, it's something we'll know whether he's in India's plans or not in the next 2 to 3 series, because the first series could be a mix of both. But as India move along, if Prithvi Shaw doesn't come into the picture for the first 3 games, then there are questions to be asked of what India are planning.
No, I think probably the board is dealing with attitude,
Hmm.
maturity challenges with Prithvi Shah. So he's
Hmm.
definitely a talent who should have been playing for the last few years already.
Yeah.
And somebody like Rahul Dravid,
Hmm.
leadership should take care of that if he's inducted to
Hmm.
the team soon enough, right? But
Hmm.
Rahul Dravid, let's say, is going to be here for 2 more years, and
Yeah.
it'll be better for Prithvi Shah to come into the system right now, so
Yeah.
that the school of thought of Rahul Dravid can shape Prithvi
Wow.
Shah, like how Ricky.
Extra car, extra car six from Kohli against Vokes.
Oh wow, wow! See that he can play, man. Kohli,
Hmm.
moving ball, extra cover. He just brilliant.
Yeah.
I can
Full
imagine,
outside
right? So this is how we used
west
to watch
north.
cricket.
Yeah.
Uh, so this is how I used to
India's.
follow Test cricket in West Indies.
Hmm.
We never
Hmm. Hmm.
in the 80s, so we had to
Hmm.
tune in our transistor and a shortwave
Hmm.
frequency,
Hmm.
543 or some hertz. So
Hmm.
it'll pick up the West Indian commentary
Hmm.
wherever you
Hmm.
were. And I was in the deep part of Tamil Nadu, and I used
Hmm.
to go, late evening the commentary would start,
Hmm.
and you would be wondering why you even tuned in, right? It'll be either fall of Indian wickets or broken ribs.
Hmm.
So you always woke up, you kind of tuned into for bad news,
Yeah.
except for Gavaskar who negotiated them so brilliantly those days.
I
Anyways,
look at this.
so come
Yeah.
IPL.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I look at those videos and it's like, how was cricket even practical in those days? The speeds that they were bowling without helmet. It's a crazy thing to do for a batter to decide. Okay, I'm going to spend my career as a batter, especially with the payments that were made to batters. Those days, it was more of I see Ian Chappell and Greg Chappell talk a lot about it. It was more of a game that they played for passion and for actual the money that they get. They were doing second and third jobs to make up the money that they to spend their life to take a decision like that. I'm going to face Andy Roberts and Malcolm Marshall for my passion. I mean, that's kind of like you should be wired crazy to take a decision like that.
Yeah, and imagine, not to mention,
Hmm.
interestingly, probably the training those days itself is about leaving the delivery. Today, the training is more
Hmm.
about
Hmm.
playing the delivery, because
Hmm.
you're
Yeah.
shaping
Yeah.
on to be a 360-degree batsman. There's only so many hours a kid can come for training, and you
Hmm.
cannot be teaching how to leave the ball, I guess.
Hmm.
So at a grassroots level,
Hmm.
to play that kind of Dennis Lilly, Thompson
Hmm.
pace, leaving
Hmm.
deliveries, sitting there,
Hmm.
spell out so that you can take on the next rung of
Hmm.
bowlers until make a big
Hmm.
score. See, Gavaskar made really big hundreds, right? Either one
Hmm.
test
Hmm.
matches, one of the biggest chases, or say came so very close, I guess, that, in UK when he scored a knock of 221.
Hmm.
And every knock you look at it, seeing off the fast bowlers, putting on a big score, making your team very competent. That's what a Gavaskar, a test captain opener, brought in. See, I'm saying that is the X
Hmm.
factor. So
Hmm.
your biggest player has to be that contributor. See, today Rohit is not able to contribute in the field. He's not the sharpest fielder
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah.
we have to take that dimension of the player as well, right? As Sanju Samson,
Hmm.
even if he were to play only as a fielder, he's a gun fielder
Hmm.
in the deep. So he'll
Yeah.
take those throwing himself. He'll take those sliding catches so effortlessly.
Yeah.
Or like he can stop the ball, like he has the athleticism to stop the ball like Ben Stokes at the ropes, for example. He's that fit.
Yeah.
So one has to make a case for him, hopefully he'll make a case for himself with his IPL 2023 performance.
Mm,
So if that opening partnership has to be fixed right after this World Cup, right? We are again trying to dissect
mm,
the team after the World Cup. What will happen to this team?
yeah.
Kohli is looked to set to survive, right? Given this form, he has come back in, right? He should dismiss all this retirement T20 rumors. Play
Mm,
T20 at least till the next World Cup.
mm,
Irrespective of, right? Be in that positive framework and enjoy his cricket, which he seems to be doing, and he owes that to himself.
mm, mm.
So,
I think it'll be
so
interesting
KL
to see
Rahul
what.
brings.
It'll be interesting to see what
Mhm.
The Indian selectors do with this batch of senior players, Kohli and Rohit in particular. Because the last time I heard them speak,
Exactly.
they were talking about like they were hinting about certain decisions that were to be made, and Indian T20 team will take a different approach. So it's something that will it remains to be seen what they will do. By the if India win the World
Yeah.
Cup, I think they'll get an extra couple of years. But if India don't, then they're going to
So
be
you have to
questioned.
make this movement very strategically, if you ask me,
Mm,
right? So
mm,
you
mm,
need to have a player who is getting groomed,
mm,
who can be that of
mm,
Kohli's brilliance to
mm,
play at
mm,
number
mm,
four in T20s,
mm, mm. Yeah,
right? Or he plays at number three, right? Kohli is won't drop, yeah, to play at
yeah, he
number
plays at
three.
number three. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that player, you
Mm,
should already see him in the making in the
mm,
in the under 19 and the IPL. We should be, Rahul
mm,
Dravid should know the name of this player
mm, mm.
who can replace Kohli by 2024, right? So that will be playing a lot of
Yeah,
IPL and
yeah.
all that, right? Who
Mm,
can play in all conditions, have a strong back. So what
mm.
are the things we are asking for? Strong back foot
Rohit,
play, ability to
Rohit back to back
negotiate.
fours. Yeah, Rohit back to back fours against
Brilliant,
Sam Curran. Aggression.
brilliant. I think that's what he's been trying to do, to be aggressive on the top, so that it
Mm,
gives that,
mm,
that naturally
mm,
it gives that license for his team as well, right? So as a captain, he has to
mm,
lead by example, right? As much as we try
mm.
to be critical of Rohit.
Yeah.
But we are only talking about the team forward, right? So if this team is
Mm,
playing the semifinals, hopefully he's going to get us to the finals, right? So that's the best team
mm.
we could have got. There's no point,
Yeah.
dissecting this team in retrospect, given where we have
Mm.
reached at the end of this tournament.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
saying if Hardik, we have to find the right replacement for Virat till Virat can allow to be, we can even as fans can allow Virat to retire, right? Which was the case with Sachin, for example. So the number 5, 6, 7, right? Who are the players is the question,
Yeah.
right? Provided that
Mm.
we lock the four bowlers, right? So these three have to be either bowling all rounders or batting all rounders from 5 to 7,
Yeah.
right? So or it has to be a smasher, right? Who can hit at about
Mm, mm.
300 strike rate. I don't know if Sarfraz Khan
I
can
think
be that player for
mm,
us.
I think I talked
Playing
about
at
it a
number
bit in the
7.
last article or maybe in one of my YouTube videos, I guess. But I think 5 to 7 should be a mix of full ball power hitting and then range as well. Someone who could be good as Kohli on the back foot,
Yeah,
because you see a lot of
yeah,
teams using raw pace at the death these days. Because in the match against Sri Lanka,
yeah.
Markwood might have gone for 17 runs in the first over, but when he came back to bowl at the death on a venue like SCG that does not support raw pace, even at such a venue, a bowler like him had an impact. So we want a mix of skills represented at the lower middle order. Someone who could tackle range, someone who can power it down, and someone even we could even go for a 2-to-1 combination of power and range as well.
Yeah, I think we have Sky to do the job for us at number 4, and Hardik
Mm-mm-mm.
to an extent at number 5.
Mm-mm.
Uh, you know, like it would have been interesting to see how Hardik could have played Mark Wood, for example, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
because that is the percentage you're talking about. This number 4 and number
Mm-mm.
5 should be
Mm-mm.
able to take on a Mark Wood, right? Like how
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
ABD can take
Definitely,
on
yeah,
a
yeah,
Stain,
yeah.
right?
Interesting
So
you
that's
talk
the
about Sky
capability we are
because
looking
yeah,
for. In the,
yeah, because there was a period when Sky's numbers after power play were really bad, especially against pace. He talks a lot about improving as a player. I think he's tremendously improved as a player in the last couple of years. He's come along. He's
yeah.
improved his range. That's one thing, and his numbers are also improving. Slow left arm spin was one bowling type that was troubling him a lot. I think he's not getting out to it as often as he did a couple of years back. As a player, I think his progress has been tremendous in the last couple of years. Wow, Rohit
So
slog
that's why
sweep
we
for
are
a
talking.
four against Adil Rashid introduced within the power play, and Rohit has slog swept him straight for a four. First ball straight.
So this is a crucial phase of play and how Virat and Rohit play Adil Rashid. Okay, I think
Mm-mm-mm.
Adil is
Yeah.
their trump card today for England because they're missing Wood.
Maybe I think England are also trying
So
to
so that's
sneak
where
in, sneak in an over of Adil Rashid before Surya Kumar Yadav comes to the crease, because this is a team that usually very good with matchups. They understand what a player is good against, what a player is bad against. So they I think they see an opportunity here with Rohit and Kohli at the crease today, and they've introduced him Adil Rashid earlier, because this is not the time you'll usually see them coming into attack. You'll not see Adil Rashid coming into the attack in the first 6 overs.
so they want him to bowl fuller for the long
Mm-hmm.
boundaries, so they can either they have to take the risk or they have to only drive for a single.
Yeah,
At best, they can only rotate the strike
yeah.
unless they are able to. And he cannot even both good strong back foot players. Adil
Mm,
cannot even afford to bowl even slightly short because they can
yeah,
hit him on
yeah,
the back foot
yeah.
and it's a
He'll
short
have to
square
err on the fuller
boundaries.
side. Yeah, yeah. Especially with the long D
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
boundaries being long and square boundaries being short. Even a miss it can carry for a
yeah.
six.
So he'll be trying to
Mm,
even a hint of turn,
mm.
at the long boundaries could help a wicket.
Yeah,
But
it's
Rohit
really
will try
difficult.
to take him on because he can really, he's known to.
He has already taken him on. Yeah,
Between Kohli and Rohit is
mm,
expected to take. Uh,
yeah. That's what he did in the
it's Rohit who has the
2000.
better game and
2021 match against New Zealand
against the
too.
West.
The, yeah, against Ishori and Santner, he tried to take on the spinners and got out. He even pushed himself down the order. I mean, irrespective of who is at the opposite end, I think Rohit sees himself as the attacker.
Yeah, yeah. Naturally,
Hmm.
he takes that initiative. That we should
Yeah.
give that to him. Hope he comes off
Mm-mm.
more often than not. Right. So that's the point we're trying to
Mm-mm.
make.
Yeah.
I mean, to win 5 IPL championship for Mumbai, without his X factor, they couldn't have done that. Right. Let's face it.
Mm. Yeah.
So,
A lot of those
so we
numbers
have,
had come.
yeah,
Lot of those numbers had come with him playing at multiple positions. It wasn't like he had his opening position all the way. Played at number three, played at number four, and then finally decided this is not working out for me. I'll have to move up, move to the top.
I don't know why someone like Steve Smith,
Hmm.
Rahul Dravid,
Hmm.
right? Even
Hmm.
Sachin Tendulkar in his early Test days, batsmen of such caliber
Hmm.
have to
Hmm. Hmm.
really come through the ranks, playing at number five, number seven. Like Rahul Dravid in his
Yeah.
opening Test match played number seven. And
Hmm.
can you believe it? Rahul Dravid playing number seven. See, he came 5 runs
Yeah.
short of scoring that 100 because he ran out of
Hmm.
partners. Rahul Dravid did not
Hmm.
get
Hmm.
out in that Test
Hmm. Hmm.
match.
Yeah.
So if he had enough balls, he would have also gotten himself to a debut 100. So nobody looks at it that way. They say Rahul Dravid got,
Hmm.
Rahul Dravid didn't get a century. That's not the full story,
Yeah.
right? So imagine Rahul Dravid batting that low. So
Yeah.
again, who were we discussing? Rohit Sharma, right? Somebody of
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma's talent to bat at different positions before he becomes the opener, like
Yeah.
Sachin Tendulkar did.
Uh,
It's unbelievable in hindsight. They should have been openers straight off the bat.
lofted straight drive from Kohli
Like I guess that's the
against
case. Uh-huh.
Adil Rashid for a boundary, or Livingstone for a boundary. They have introduced both the
You,
leg spinners into the attack.
uh,
I think they again, this is a tactic that's done to get overs out of them before Surya Kumar Yadav comes into the attack.
yeah,
And India are being alert to it also. I
or
think
even
there
Hardik
are a couple
Pandya.
of
Yeah,
quite a few attacking shots played against these two spinners.
yeah, yeah. This is, I think, a crucial play. I think between them, India should like how in 87 between Maninder Singh and Ravi Shastri. They got 100 and 104 runs. I think Ravi
mm,
Shastri gave 49 runs and Maninder
mm,
Singh gave 55 runs in the
mm,
20 overs.
mm,
So that became the difference
mm,
between the teams,
mm.
right? And because we went with the two left-handers, playing a World Cup, where was our right-hand, spinner?
Yeah.
You cannot go with such obvious weaknesses in your playing 11, right? We
Mm,
should have a
mm.
man for every turf and every bowling attack, and we should be able to make that 11, right?
Yeah.
That's how balanced you want your 15 to be.
Mm,
So talking of 6 and 7, who can be that big, Cameroon Green, Mitch Marsh kind of players who
mm,
can
mm.
swat from any length to anywhere for sixes.
Yeah.
You can also
I
do a
think
bit
in
of
India has
bowling.
historically struggled getting those players. When Kapil Dev was there, I think he was this muscular hitter down the order. And Yuvraj Singh, even though he played at four, he's someone who could muscle balls and he took care of that bit. He was extremely destructive when he came off. And going down the line, I think Abdul Samad is someone that India can look at. Or again, convert Samson. That's something that they are doing in the ODI setup.
And I think, I believe, I would like to be
Mm,
proven wrong, and it will become
mm,
so percentage that we would want these, 6 and 7 to be
mm,
at least
mm.
6 foot or taller,
Mm, 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 mm.
right? To
I'm
be
a big
able to
believer
play
in that.
those
Yeah,
range of
yeah.
strokes.
I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in that. Yeah,
You know,
we should have at least two
with
of
anything
those.
that is,
Mm, mm,
yeah,
in
because
between
at
five
that
to five and
length you
six.
should be
Mm.
able to hit. Yeah.
True, true. Yeah,
Because
should
anything
be able to
Hardik
muscle
had
down.
as
Yeah, yeah.
against
Mm,
him,
mm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Mm,
anything Hardik has against him is the height, because he has to reach forward for those short
mm, mm.
length balls
Yeah,
to compensate for his lack of height, and which puts him in
yeah.
tricky positions to
Mm,
miscue.
mm.
If he had the height,
Yeah,
he could slap it anywhere with his skill and with his
yeah,
muscles.
yeah, yeah. To control the height of the ball, to control the bounce and play it, keep it
Yeah.
down and everything, to put your weight, to transfer your weight through that. That's not something that easy to do for shorter
Viv
players
Richards,
down the order.
classic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you want your Viv Richards batting at number 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. True.
A brilliant fielder who can bowl few
Yeah,
overs,
yeah.
and who'll stand that tall and whack.
Mm.
You know, and that's Andre Russell for you.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
Russell, Kyron Pollard.
so
Yeah.
yeah, that's your Kyron Pollard for you, right? And each team, I
Mm-hmm.
think the IPLs are cracking these positions, but from a
Mm.
national team point of view, every
Yeah.
team, right, right, it's great. So if these foreign players for played for IPL teams, they would, the balanced 11 we are talking about, it's more likely
Mm.
than them playing for their own
Mm-hmm.
nation. Because not all the 11 players
Mm.
that, they play for the nation are so good enough to
Mm.
play for IPL teams.
Mm.
Actually, see, every nation having,
Mm.
11 players, there should be each one of
Mm.
them representing one of the IPL teams of 10. That should be
Yeah.
your concentration of,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm.
players who are demanded in IPL who constitute your
Mm.
national 11,
Mm.
right?
Mm. Mm. Yeah. 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 True. True.
But
True.
I
Yeah.
don't think world cricket has that balance today. If Tampa Bowma were to captain and open, captain
Mm.
yes, but
Yeah.
to open in a World Cup,
Mm.
right?
Mm. Mm.
So that balance
Mm.
here, sometime there to get to that balance, like where baseball is or NFL is,
Mm. Mm.
where each play is called the coaches. It's perfect, right? So every role there's a person to do that role, and cricket will eventually get there. And the point is that at the NCA level, talent.
Yeah.
I think Arshdeep. That's why it's a great example.
Mm. Mm.
So definitely our talent spotting, our
Mm.
U19, even each
Mm.
franchise's junior, school level cricket championships, or
Mm.
even
Mm.
TNPL, KPL, for
Mm.
example.
Mm.
But each one of them they should have. See, at a coach level, they should know whom they are looking for as a 6 and a 7. So if they have that, the coach has
Yeah.
that knowledge, then you'll be looking for tall boys and
Mm.
teach them
Mm.
the skill. Like how
Mm.
in the Dhoni movie, he was forced to be, learn the skill
Mm.
of keeping before he was led to bat.
Mm. Hmm.
There's a coach who alters your course,
Uh,
right? Early on in your life. And the coach has to have your insights, right? Okay,
yeah.
what am I looking for? What is the 11,
Hmm.
right? Each coach
Hmm.
at a school level is like, Brad Pitt in the Moneyball movie.
Yeah.
Each and every coach is like that. That's how
Hmm.
cricket will become eventually that competitive,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So schools will be
In-
claiming, saying that if you come here level, right? So school cricket, everything will become
Wow.
so.
Extra car drive again for 56 for 1 in 8.2 overs.
You're playing good, 8.156. You got 7 runs and over. So, so it'll be interesting to see the transformation come.
Mm-hmm.
And the countries that have that balance quicker will become a lot more successful. But you also need to have a lot more meaningful, uh, you know, country versus country T20 tournaments between World Cups. I like that quadrangular model, right? If four teams can get together, like India, South Africa, England, and let's say then bring a Zimbabwe, for example, right? Play a quick and a week, one or two games against each other, and end of the week you play the finals. So create more such tournaments, like how one day cricket used to be. If you remember in the 80s, you used to be have
Yeah.
Rothman's Trophy, Australasia
Mm.
Cup,
Mm.
Benson and Hedges. There are so many one day
Mm.
tournaments which were of importance.
Yeah.
I think that's what this one, the challenge with one day cricket as well, right? Between World Cups, there are no meaningful one day tournaments anymore. There
Mm.
are these boring bilaterals.
Yeah. I think they'll
So,
structure it a bit differently going ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I
I
guess
think
the way
Rohit is
IPL
going to
is
get.
run is going to have a
Rohit is gone. 27 of 28. Jordan picks up a wicket.
27 of 28 balls, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So he has played five
Tried to
overs of the
slog
7 overs.
Jordan. Yeah. Tried to slog Jordan. He's gone. Caught at the
He's
deep
taken so
wicket.
much of strike. Almost 75% of the strike is taken with Rahul and Virat. So it'll go down as another failure for Rohit.
Yeah, definitely.
At least it brings Sky in early. That's the exciting part.
Yeah.
See, that's how it should be, right? So anybody goes, then we'll have Sky, right? That four guy,
Yeah.
that five guy. It's interest also to be there till the last ball is bowled.
Yeah.
Your sponsors demand that. So
Mm.
somewhere I think the game is going to give itself that, in the next 4 to 7 years. By the end of the turn of the decade, I guess we'll be, looking at a completely different game, played very, very professionally at all levels. So usually when I take a bio break, I get a bad news. Hopefully, you will not tell me it's Kohli or Sky. But I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
ஆனால் நீங்கள் எப்போ ஃபோன் சொல்கிறீங்க வீட்டுக்கு, நான் அப்போ வீட்டுக்கு போயிடுறேன். சரிங்களா? ரெக்கார்டிங்லாம் முடிஞ்சதா நல்லபடியா?
வீட்டுக்கு போங்க குரு, வீட்டுக்கு போங்க.
ஓஹோ, அப்படியா? ஓஹோ, இதனாலயா? தண்ணி இருக்குனாலையோட? சரிப்பா, ஓகேப்பா. அந்த இதெல்லாம் பார்த்தேன்டா, அந்த இதை இதுக்கு அதெல்லாம் பார்த்தேன். சரியா? அது ஓகேப்பா. ஆனால் அந்த லிங்க் வந்து அதான் நான் நினச்சிட்டே இருக்கேன். இப்போ தான் பார்த்தேன். கிளிக் அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லிங்க் வேர் இட் வில்ஸு இந்தியா 7. அதை பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன்டாப்பா. ஓகே. ஆமாம், ஐபேடு. ஓ, 12:35. சரி. நான் அந்த ட்விட்டர்ல போட்டு பார்த்தேன், என்னடா வரல வரலன்னு இப்பதான் நினைச்சிட்டேன். உனக்கு கூப்பிட்டு அந்த ட்விட்டர்ல கூப்பிட்டு பார்த்தேன். ஏன் அழகப்பன் கேட்க மாட்டேங்குதுடா கடவுளே. ஏன் அவனோட ஏதாவது இருக்குமா? ஓஹோ, கடவுளே. குரு இருக்கு சொன்னியாமே, அதான் கேட்கலான்ட்டு. அவன் இருக்கேன்னா வீட்டுக்கு போலாமா? இங்க போயிட்டு வரேன்னு போயிருக்கான். ஓகே, சொல்லட்டுமா? என்ன சொல்லலாம் சொல்லிப்பாரு.
வீட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு சொல்லுங்க. என்ன, வீட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு சொல்லுங்க.